Were there other members of the family living in the area where you grew up?
Uncle John and Aunt Annie Mary and Uncle Jack, and I can't remember her name anymore. And then Uncle Emil, they lived in the area too, and Perpetua was her name. And then Grandpa had sisters. He had Gertrude was the youngest of the girls. She married a Gratz. And what was the other one's name? Lakacha.
Lakacha.
Yeah, her name. She was married to Hoffman. They lived in the Salem area. You know.
Now this was all Grandpa
Furter's family.
And then how about your mother, the Emineth side?
Yeah.
Where were they living? From where? Were any of your uncle aunts of the Emineth side near you?
No. The closest one was Uncle Florian. They lived in the Judson area, you know. And he was married to Lena, I guess was her name. And they had quite a few kids. I don't think we should get into kids. So it's too many. I can't find.
I remember them all. Yeah. Okay, what was the house that you grew up in like? How many rooms, bedrooms? Just kind of describe it. If it had electricity.
There was no electricity. We had to see that the kerosene lamp and gasoline lights were filled usually. So that's all we had, you know.
And how many bedrooms were in it?
That time they did not have bedrooms. I know the one front entrance we had, walked through, was one big room and the boy's bed was sitting in there. Then the one door led to the kitchen and the others to the living room. Mom and Dad's bed was sitting in there. And then we had another room, that's where we had our another bed and one of those, what do you call those, old-fashioned beds where you opened up. You know,
a Murphy?
like a big piece of furniture, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened it up. And
so all the boys, you had 9 brothers.
but at that time, there weren't that many boys. You know.
How did your family adjust to as the family grew with all the children? Do you remember?
I guess they all got along. How else did they adjust? They didn't know any better.
But where they slept and how they...
Well,
Did they build another room, maybe?
no.
No? Okay. They
There were
just
just
made do.
more beds and 3 in the bed, you know.
Okay.
3 in the bed, and I know we did too, you know, in our beds, you know, and so on.
And then, did you have indoor plumbing?
Oh no, we never had to.
So how did you do your water and take your baths and wash your dishes?
We used the wash tub, and we had to carry the water and heated it, and for washing and for baths, you know.
And then how did you hang your clothes on the line? Like
They had to be dried out on the line. In the winter months we hung them out. They were all stiff and we brought them in, you know, just stiff, and we hung them around in the house. We heated up the pot belly stove in the center of the living room, and that's how they warmed up and dried eventually, you know.
Did you heat with wood or with coal?
Coal.
Coal.
Yeah. We had to get coal every so often, you know.
So I take it that Grandma cooked, or all the cooking was done on a wood stove.
It wasn't cold, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then how did you keep your food cold because you didn't have a refrigerator? How did you keep your milk and your cheese?
At that time, we didn't. I don't think there was that much milking done until later on when we had our different house, you know. Because I can't remember that time where we kept the cream, you know, milk. And the cupboards, room temperature.
Was there a root cellar, maybe?
Well, there was a cellar, but it was just a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, we did put things down there, but I can't remember what all was down there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was an ugly hole, you know.
Were there any special items or anything in the house that you distinctly remember that was special?
Well, one thing I remember, you know, our flowers are. We had a stone house, and the walls were, what I think, about 2 feet thick, and the windows were that thick then, you know. And that's where Mom kept her flowers.
Oh.
And that whole area was just blooming full of flowers.
Oh,
you know.
wow.
Geraniums, Christmas cactus, you know. And the windows were frozen shut, you know, so thick that, you know.
But the flowers were still in there.
Yeah, well.
Okay, what kind of games did you play when you were growing up?
Mostly cards, I guess. There were no other games, you know. Well, we had checkerboard. That was played. There were no advanced games like we have now, you know.
Did you have a toy that was a favorite? Did you have any dolls or?
All I can remember is the little doll I got from my godmother. It was just a little plastic one about that high. Once you bend it, you know, they break if you keep bending it. It's a real cheapy one. Shouldn't say that.
Maybe it was kind of like a porcelain, just delicate back in those days. They didn't have all that
It
rubber.
wasn't porcelain, no. It was this plastic, the first form of plastic that came out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Did you have any family chores?
We were all, everybody had to work and do things. If it was time to carry water, I remember carrying water, I was going to carry a big pail, full pail of water. Started out with a full pail, by the time I got to the house it was half empty. Because I couldn't carry it and it flopped over, you know. It's just halfway full, you know.
Did you help with any of the cooking or baking or
cooking and milking?
milking?
Yeah, I did the milking, fed the calves, and fed the chickens, you know. So
Did you work in the fields at all?
I did help some with the shocking, bundle shocking, you know, when the binder, you know. So help with that and a few summers, you know. Then they got the combine, you know. And it depended too, like if we had a good crop, we had bundles, and then they had the header. The header, you know, they cut it off and put it on huge stacks to kind of space them apart. Then when thrashing time, they pulled the thrasher in between the stacks. Then each one threw in, you know, from both sides had men throwing the what you call it, straw, wasn't straw then, and then it separated the straw from the grain. The grain was put in the bin in the granary, and the straw they save for the cattle either to eat or to bed down in the winter months in the barn. You know.
So did your dad and grandparents did both farming
Yeah.
and had cattle too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Had
What else did they raise besides hay?
pigs, chickens, turkeys, geese, ducks. We had everything out there, you know. Turkey were the dumbest animals.
They were. Why?
Well, you know, anything else, if it starts raining, they get head for the inside of the turkeys. Just went the opposite where the weather went. They went away from the weather, and they'd go in somebody else's yards or fields. You know, we used to go all the way out to neighbors, and they were out there, the turkey with just little ones, you know.
And you'd have to round them up and bring them home.
Right.
Okay, break.
What was your favorite thing to do for fun when you were a little girl?
Playing outside, playing hide and seek, ball any over. We had this building that we could run around in circles in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we played store. this smokehouse. We cleaned it up and we had, these orange crates, wooden orange crates, and then empty boxes with the groceries in, like oatmeal, cornflakes, and some of these boxes. And we saved them, then we put them on shelves, and we pretended it was a store, so we came, made money, made it, little 5, 10 cents and so on. And then one was the storekeeper, we went in and bought it, It's one way of learning how to buy groceries,
Okay, this reminds me, what language did you speak as a child?
German.
Everybody
Always German.
Always German. When
Yeah.
did you start speaking English?
When I went to school, started school.
And did they
Well,
teach
we knew how to speak some English, I
But
don't
it
know
was
where
when-
we got it from. 'Cause,
probably friends?
no. Well, Mother and Dad, they could speak some English, but not that much,
That's probably as much as
They
you
could
could
read-
speak as what they
Read
could.
German, I know.
You read German too?
They did. Well, they taught us to at the Catholic school, but we had only 3-4 weeks of school. We couldn't learn our prayers and everything, the religion, and learn to read German.
So you only had how much school?
2-3 weeks in the summer.
And then how about in the
Catholic.
winter? Oh, that was
We
the
did
Catholic.
This summer was the Catholic school. Yeah.
You didn't go like in the fall like the kids do now in a
No.
school year?
Religious school we only had the summer months.
Yeah. Oh, but the regular
And
school.
The regular school we had from September to
May.
May.
So you had 2 weeks in the summer of
Yeah,
religious
religious,
education. Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to back up here a bit. When you were doing back to your chores, what was your least favorite chore that you had to do when
Milking.
milking? Why is that?
Hated to milk. Well,
Just didn't like it, huh?
no, I didn't.
Did you ever get an allowance for what you did?
Are you kidding? No.
It was part of
Yeah.
the family's
That's probably
duties.
why you were here, to help earn money for the parents, so they wouldn't have to hire extra help,
You think that's why you had so many brothers and sisters?
Right.
Hmm. Okay, when you started school, you said you just spoke German.
Mm.
And then, who was your teachers? Were they women teachers?
We had both men and women. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how many were in a class? Was it a regular school, a farmhouse?
It was a farm school, and we had from grade 1 to 8, and whoever was teacher had to teach all grades,
Mm-hmm.
'cause there wasn't, anything different. And she had to start the fire and warm up the schoolhouse,
How did you get to school?
A lot of times we just slept or we walked in the snow, almost waist deep of snow, we had to walk,
How far was this farm or schoolhouse from your home?
I would say a little over a mile or so, because we went crossways then when we walked, So,
So when you say a sled, what kind of a sled? Was it?
not sleigh bells, it was just a regular old farm sled, with the runners, long,
Was it with a horse?
with a horse,
With a
two
horse.
horses.
2 horses.
2 horses, yeah. Not a Santa Claus type,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
was bulkier. It had a long box on with, then they could make the box higher, put another board on or all around, and you'd go on there and we'd cover up with blankets, because the wind and snow when we,
Wow. So was it like on
it's long,
long?
like a truck box,
Mhm. And who took you, Grandpa?
Emil and Grandpa,
Hmm. By emo, do you mean that your cousins would get in the sleigh too with
No, just us. Each one drove their own kids,
you? Okay. By emo, he's the oldest brother,
Yeah, he's the oldest brother.
so he would take you. What was the highest grade you completed in school of your
Maybe
education?
geography.
No, the
That's right.
highest grade. Did you go to college? Did you go to
no,
high
eighth
school?
grade. Eighth grade.
8th grade. Mm-hmm.
Parents didn't believe in education.
They didn't. Did any of your brothers and sisters go to high school?
Ed did. Ed went to high school. You know.
Where was the high school?
He went to Mandan High. Stayed at Leona's, you know.
Okay. So that's probably another reason you didn't go to high school, is there wasn't a high school near.
Well, see, what they used to do years ago, if you had relatives, they put you in with the relatives that would keep you, you know, for a certain little pay, what they get paid them. Then you could go to high school, you know, so close to school and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of people did, put their kids to town to stay with their relative, you know, and went to
So they
school
could
there,
go to
you know.
school. Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you wish you would have went to high school?
Well, I don't know. I never thought of it, you know.
You were content out at the farm.
Yeah.
Do you remember any fads from when you were a youth, a kid? Like popular hairstyles, clothes, anything like what goes on now with all of that fashion?
Not really, I don't know. Most of the girls wear braids. I never did, you know, and I didn't carry it, don't bother me.
What did you wear?
I just cut them straight short, you know.
Who cut your hair?
I think Mom did, because we never went to a butcher.
A beauty salon. Did you have any childhood heroes or somebody you really thought was cool?
I don't think so, I don't know. We just went our merry way, a couple came and that's it, you know.
Did you have a favorite?
One thing I remember with brother Ralph and I, they had a little toy wagon. It was about that long. We'd take the wagon, go out in the hills and pick some crocuses in spring. We came home with a wagon full of crocuses, you know. And they were my favorite flowers,
Oh,
you know.
that's nice.
And we picked them all so they don't grow anymore.
Did you, okay, so the crocus was your favorite, is your favorite flower?
Well, in spring, yes,
Yeah.
you know.
Did you have any favorite songs or music?
Oh, well, we listened to any music at that time. We didn't have all this different types of music.
Did
know.
you have like a TV or a radio?
We had a radio, you know, and we had to. They had dry batteries in that from truck or car battery, you know. Then sometimes when the folks went to town or so, then the boys went and got the battery in from the truck and put it on so we'd have music and so on.
Did you dance or?
Well, I guess the older ones did. I didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We had a phonograph then, you know. And we had old-time music. That's where they danced, you know.
Uh-huh.
They learned to dance, and the older ones, you know.
Did you, anybody play any musical instruments?
Emil played the violin. Joe, Ralph, and they played guitar and sang, you know. They'd sit upstairs. By then we had a different house built, the built house. They'd sit upstairs and strum their guitars and sing, you know.
Mm-hmm. That was their entertainment, huh?
They liked singing. It was nice, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you like to sing?
Yeah, I like to sing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm the best, but I said
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't created to be a good singer, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any pets when you were a little
Lots
boy?
of cats.
Lots of cats?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's the only pet we had.
No dogs?
Well, we had dog, but they were to herd cattle, bring the cattle in, you know, and so on. Or somebody came in the yard and barked, so we knew we could company, you know.
Mm-hmm. What was your religion growing up?
Catholic as it is now.
Hmm. And did you have a church nearby that you attended?
The little St. Anthony's Church, just north of our place, about a mile or so.
And how did you all get to church with a big family like that?
We didn't all get to go. We took one carload, and as time went on, Dad got the truck, then the boys went with the truck,
Mm-hmm.
And we went, I don't know, some stayed home or what.
So did they kind of say, this is your week to go to church?
No, not really, I don't know. We just
Worked
can't
it out?
remember,
Mm-hmm. What world events had the most impact on you while you were growing up? Do you remember anything that happened?
Well, all I can think is I was quite young yet, I don't know. I think I wasn't even a teenager at the time, went into 30s. When I wanted a perm, and Mom said, not until we know what the crops are like. And that time they were $5, And if the crops turned out good, you could have a perm. Well, I did get one.
Yeah, so they had...
Yeah.
Hmm. So do you feel like you always had, growing up back there, when you mentioned the 30s, it was a different world with, what did you all eat? Was it?
Chicken and pork. Butchered several pigs, and we had sausage, all kinds of sausage, and ham and bacon and whatever a hall produces,
Did you buy much at the grocery store?
Not too much, Dad went to town, he brought home what we could. What he was told to bring sugar, flour in the fall. We bought 1,000 pounds of sacks of flour.
Wow.
In the fall, so it would keep over the winter. Then we put it upstairs. We had to set it along the outside wall so it wouldn't break. The center part would probably, 100 pounds of flour is heavy.
Oh, that's
So
1,000
it wouldn't
pounds.
break down the ceiling.
Oh, really?
Then when we baked, we usually went up and, we had a bin to put this flour, 100 pounds in that metal bin, and then we took enough downstairs to bake bread, and we put the cover on again. For 2 days we went back and did the same thing,
Wow.
Every other day we baked, about 7-8 loaves of bread,
That's a lot of flour.
A lot of bread too.
A lot of bread.
Yeah.
Well, with all those kids.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned in another tape that you ate a lot of dough foods.
Oh yeah, Well, we had during Lent we had mostly because we couldn't eat meat on Friday.
Cut.
Come on.
Cut down.
Shut it.
Okay.
What was a typical family dinner like? It amazes me with 13 children and 2 parents. That makes a family of 15.
Well, we had a long table, but at the wall we had a bench as long as the table was, and that's where the boys sat, all lined in, and then the rest we had chairs around. Dad sat at the head of the table, and Mom next to him, and the rest we sat there.
And you ate as a family every evening?
Oh yes, and everybody had to stand by the table and say their prayers, and they went and sat down. We always had to stand and say the prayers before.
Did you all eat together at breakfast too?
Oh yes,
So
that was always, every meal was together.
even the noon meal?
and the noon meal.
Even they come off of the fields and everybody always eat their 3
Always
meals together as a
right.
family.
Every meal we ate together.
And you prayed before each.
All right.
Did you say the same prayer we say today? Bless us, O
No,
Lord.
we said German prayers. I can't tell you anymore what they were.
Mm.
I forgot it. Yeah.
Who did the cooking?
Mom did. Leona was the oldest, and then Tina and Betty helped, you know. And later on, I did help, you know.
You were the baby girl.
Right, yeah. We had to peel potatoes, do everything, you know. When cooking started, everybody had to be there to help, you know, do something, you know. And if not, the other one had different chores, you know.
What was your favorite food?
Maybe homegrown chicken, I don't know.
Mhm.
Home raised, you know.
Did you do all your butchering? And
Oh yeah, the chickens. Well, even the beef and the hogs, they were all butchered in the yard there, you know.
Now what's it
Scalded, everything. Skinned.
We're at the end of the tape. I gotta get another tape.
okay.
They had to be dried out in the line.
Parents, your mom or your father?
I think Dad was, but Mom was more of a man. Oh, they were big things, holidays. We started baking the first part of December, you know, and everything, the whole house had to be clean and everything to be, and you know, we didn't go along to midnight mass. I don't know, was it that little Rosebud church? It must have been. We were small yet. And the relatives would stop in after mass, you know, and they didn't serve food or something, but they just come in and wished each other Merry Christmas, stuff like that, you know. I remember a little of that, you know.
And then would you have family over for the Christmas dinner on Christmas Day?
Not really, you know, it wasn't like that, I think. But it was a feast, you know, even Thanksgiving. We made our turkey and everything, you know, or a lot of people didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. It was just another day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we found out.
How about your birthday? Oh, did you have a...
Well, we got a little gift, nothing expensive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Never a party.
A birthday cake?
I can't remember if there was a birthday cake, maybe made for Delton or the younger ones, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Mom and Dad's birthdays were always celebrated by their family, you know. The relatives came then, you know.
Mm-hmm. How is the world today different from what it was like when you were a child?
Mm. I would say it's too far advanced, you know, because at that time it was more of a slow living, enjoying time that you was not rush, you know, and so on. It's too much nowadays, you know. And everybody has to be, thinks they need better things than the next one, you know, more expensive stuff and so on. At that time, people were satisfied. They could afford, you know, they only had the essential things. Their bedroom set, their bedroom beds, not a set, their beds, and their table and chairs for to eat. At thrashing time, we had the big pull-out table that you said 17, 18 people to a table, you know.
And why did you have like people come in to help for the threshing? Is that why the
Well,
table
we
got
didn't,
bigger?
but some people did. I mean, the men.
The men.
The men
Oh.
were hired, you know.
Oh, okay.
Well, see what was, Uncle John had the thrasher. And he, went, see, like my dad and the boys, Joe and Emil went along, you know, and then they'd go from farmer to farmer.
Oh.
And do thrashing, you know. And they thrash sometimes a week, 2 weeks at one person's, you know. And it was early in the morning till late at night. That was hard work, you know, and it was, especially the women, you had to have breakfast ready. You fed them, a lot of them. You stayed overnight in the barn, they slept in hay loft, you know. And they, you know, had to be fed in the morning. You know, and the table had to be set and food ready. you know.
Early in the
And
morning.
then at noon, too, in the evening.
Hmm. They didn't pack lunches. They came and ate it.
No
a
way.
meal.
And then we had thrashers to eat early, about 6 o'clock. They were done. They went out in the field, they did the thrashing. Then about 10 o'clock, we carried the lunch out for them.
Oh.
Took lunch for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when Mom and Dad used to buy, remember bologna, how this bologna's in? We'd buy sticks of bologna that big, that long, and that thick. And that's how we sliced it and made sandwiches, And homemade bread or bought bread, and we'd pack it in a box, dish towels and so on, and send it out. And big pots of coffee. We had these big, they were kind of enamel, whatever you call it, and blue speckles.
Enamel.
Enamel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Send big pot of coffee out like that.
Mm.
And that we cookies and cake with it too. We had pickles. The pickles were sent out, So it was,
Right, so I imagine you all had a big garden too.
Yeah,
Like
right,
Pickled
yeah.
all your
right.
vegetables, and did you
Everything.
freeze them or
No, I couldn't
Canned.
freeze them. We pickled them.
or canned?
Yeah,
Canned.
canned them,
Mhm.
Canned carrots, we canned beans, we canned peas, and
Did you can chickens?
we canned chicken, we canned sausage, we canned beef, we cut in chunks, and what else? We had everything, the meat was canned for summer months.
For summer months. That's
Right.
that's how it kept from spoiling. The
Right,
thing,
yeah,
is it was all canned.
right. And you cooked that meat for hours. We had the wash boiler, we just put half a gallon jars in. There was, I don't know how many jars it take a wash boiler. 8 or 12, 10 or 12. And there was one batch, Then we, had to cook another batch and so on.
Oh, that must have been a chore.
Yeah, right.
Huh. And no thermometers to check.
No, not at all. Their time, 4 hours cooking, Even corn, we canned corn, Cut it off the cob and canned it,
So was this all done on top of the wood stove then?
Oh, naturally.
Mhm.
See, we had that wooden stove, heat the whole thing. You started something boiling, then you set it back and start the next, because it kept on boiling in this end. This wasn't quite as hot as the front. Then you rotated it, And it was hot. It was hot in those kitchens.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Who was the oldest relative you remember as a child?
Well, I would say Grandpa Furter, but I didn't he wasn't really that old when he died. I think he was only in his 60s. But at that time, that was old.
Yeah.
But I remember Grandpa used to come to our house with a Ford. He was the first one at a car at that time.
Ooh.
So, and those horns they had, and we thought he wouldn't hear it. We just loved that horn. We'd run up and quick push the horn. He thought he wouldn't hear it. He didn't say anything, He probably enjoyed it,
Showing off his Ford.
Yeah. Come in, Jameson.
Should we do a cut? What stories have come down to you about your parents or grandparents or any of your ancestors that you know? Is there any stories that your mother told you or your father about your grandparents?
Gee, I don't know. All they talked about was, we have to do this and do that and save the money for next machinery or something, because there was nothing fancy bought, Machinery had to be bought because you need the crops, needed to put out crops or take them in, That's the only thing I can remember.
Do you have any recipes that have been passed down to you from other family members?
Well, we just made a batch.
And what was
Cheese
that?
buns. We made cheese buns.
And what's the German name for that?
Käseknip.
And, so,
Käseknipfel.
and your mother made that, and your
Yeah.
grandma made that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They all did. And we made sauerkraut and Nucra. And we made ram noodles with cream. Good old farm cream. And we made cream puffs. That was good too.
Mm.
And our homemade choke cherry jelly. And all. Plus our canning, pickles, and we didn't pickle watermelon, but I remember going to Grandpa and Grandma Furter's. You know, she had a huge garden right by the house, you know, and she'd had a garden full of pumpkin, watermelon, cantaloupe, anything you could think of she had in there. Plus there are other things, you know. We take one home, you know, she gave us one to go home, you know.
Are there any physical characteristics that run in your family?
Well, I guess you can, what you call it, refer to all of which one physically
Well, like,
belongs.
yeah.
Goes to dad's side and some to mom's side.
What would you say on your dad's side?
I think John was more to dad's side. Maybe Delno, I don't know.
And why do you say that?
I don't know, so their talk and their actions, even Dennis, you can tell.
He's
You know.
more of a fritterer than...
Right, yeah. So,
hmm What was the full name of your spouse?
my spouse, annOpp, I don't think he even had a middle name.
And how many brothers and sisters did he have?
He had 8 brothers and, no, 5. 5 sisters and 4 brothers, didn't he? There was 5 and 5, right.
Okay.
I was not thinking.
All right. What is the full name of your parents?
Nick and Rosa Furter.
And what was Rosa's maiden name?
Eminent.
And what are the full names of all your brothers and sisters? Can we start with the oldest?
The brothers are all of them.
All of them.
Leona, Emil, Tina, Betty, Joe, John, myself, Ralph, Pete, Ed, and Delma. Frank. Frank is between Delma and Ed.
Where did you meet your spouse, Emo?
And they dance in his
What did you do on dates?
We danced.
What was it like when he proposed to you? Do you remember what he said? Or where it happened?
Yeah. I don't know. It just happened, you know. He
You
proposed. We set a date and, you know.
How did you feel?
I felt good about it. We went to center to the priest, got our registered there and everything. Then we went to Mandan, and Grandpa got his Catholic religion through Mandan priest, you know. And then we got married there, you know.
What was Emo's religion before
They were
you?
Lutherans, you know.
Hmm
Yeah.
And so he studied in Mandan to change to be a Catholic
Right. Got a big
before
book.
you
Yeah.
got married.
Right, yeah.
Where and when did you get married?
We got married at Mandan St. Joel's Church in 1951.
What,
December 27th.
December 27th.
Yeah.
What memory stands out the most from your wedding day?
Well, we didn't have anything for a wedding. Leon and Andrew made a dinner for us, and we took off and went to Montana.
That was your honeymoon, huh?
Right. Stayed at Glendive overnight, And then we went into Laurel and stayed at Uncle Frank's, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did Uncle Frank live along the river there?
Yeah, he lived in it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was quite a character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
He
How-
looked like,
How would you describe your spouse?
I don't know, hard worker, caring. What else should I say? Provider.
What do you admire most about him?
Well, he was very helpful to everybody, you know, to people, you know. He helped everyone out, you know. Whoever needed help. He still gets to talking of it, you know, like Audrey met Nick Dupont at the hospital when Greg was so sick, you know, was dying. And Nick Dupont was in there too, his wife was dying. And he was telling Audrey about him and said, he saved my wife's life. He said, so what do you mean, why, how? Well, his wife was pregnant at the biggest storm we had, and the roads were blocked, and she was having her baby. So he called Emil. We took the middle of the night, took the maintainer, went out, opened the road, helped her come into town, and took her to the nursing home, and that's where she had her baby, you know. Mm-hmm. And we were working, we checked in, everything. Has she got a baby yet? Has she got a baby yet? So if he wouldn't have went out, I don't know, I'm sure she had problems or whatever the deal was. So he saved my wife's life.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, you talk to them all, and they had something good to say about him.
What do you believe is the key to a successful marriage?
Honesty. I don't know, caring for each other, and what else? No.
How did you feel when you found out that you were going to be a parent for the first time?
I guess I felt good, you know. Just, you know, like every other mother, you know. So.
Why did you choose your children's names?
Oh, that's kind of odd. You just like the name, you know. You feel you get the name to the way the person should be, you know.
What was your proudest moment as a parent?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when my kids got married, you know. Or even baptism, you know.
Of all of the things you learned from your parents, which do you feel was the most valuable?
I guess saving money, you know, it's about all, you know. And, you know, try to do your own thing, like cooking and most of it, you know, not to run and hire help right away. Try and get it done on your own, you know. And a lot, like Grandpa said, Dad said, he came home from work and had so many problems. His machine was bad about that, so, but it'll work out. It'll work out. He'll go to bed by morning, got it figured out. He went to bed and he slept all night in the morning, he had it figured out. I don't know how he did it, but he did it in his sleep, you know. Well, it worked, he said, you know. Shut it off.
What accomplishments are you the most proud of?
Yeah, what should I say? I think we accomplished a lot in our life because, you know, both worked and probably should have provided more for the family, you know, but, you know, it was a lot more than what I got, you know. And my dad had a lot more money than we have made, you know. So I think we could be proud of that, you know.
What is the one thing you most want people to remember about you?
I don't know. I feel that I was honest and I was happy. I don't know, truthful, you know. What else?
Oh, you're just a good mommy.
Yeah. I wanted to be the best, you know.
Do you have any other words you'd like to share with everybody here?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think I have the nicest family. They're all doing as best as they can and as well as they can, you know. And I hope the best for, you know, my beautiful grandchildren. You can be proud of all of them, you know. And they're all good workers, you know.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking the time
Yeah.
for this interview.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome.